Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the legendary map Verdansk and give our proper goodbye to the map that has made Warzone what it is today and has been one of the most played maps across this last year. Goodbye Verdansk. With only 10 days left of Verdansk being in the game at the time of filming this video, it seems like the time to say a proper goodbye to the map that we have all played so much and have made so many memories on. Today we're mainly just going to be talking about the good and the bad and what made Verdansk Verdansk. Starting with the bad, some things that made Verdansk intolerable and made it a hard gameplay to try to adapt to. Starting with something that I always hated in my entire time playing it was some terrible landing places. Though there was a lot of great places you could land throughout the map, some just immediately put you at a disadvantage. And though it's hard to make every single landing place balanced, I think they could have done a little better. One that stands out to me is Boneyard. Boneyard is a place where immediate death comes to mind. You land, you can't find loot, you run around, you find somebody with better loot, and next thing you know you're dead, you're in the gulag, and then you're trying to find somewhere else to land. There's many other places like this around the map that people can't stand. And I think this is something that made Verdansk intolerable if you were a first-time player and you didn't know where to go. If that first drop wasn't something that was memorable and was actually a good time, most likely you were immediately going to have a bad taste in your mouth about the game as a whole. For much of the time of Verdansk, weapon balancing was always an issue. The section of the game that stands out to me the most was the DMR phase. When everybody was running around with a DMR, you couldn't compete. If you were shot from behind, it's a 2-shot to the head, so you're immediately dead no matter what. The DMR is something that drove players away from the game and made major content creators choose to play other games for a section at a time. Other guns stand out to me too, like the MAC-10 and FFAR. All guns that if you ran it, you're probably going to win the game if you have decent aim. If you had positioning on other players, these guns will make that a one-sided battle. Something that gets every Call of Duty Warzone player's blood boiling is when you die to a cheater. Tim the Tapman, Nick Merckx, both stopped playing the game for a section at a time just because the cheating was so bad. Cheaters make the game completely unplayable. It makes you have an inability to compete. For a majority of the game, you go on a website where you could pay $5, link your account, and next thing you know, you have every hack in the game. You're winning every single Warzone game you play, but the worst part is you're not getting banned for it. And even if you were a major cheater and started getting banned for it, there were so many different ways where they could make a new account within seconds and be on another game and doing the exact same thing as before. Not fixing this major issue for a good amount of time was detrimental to the lifespan of Warzone. Third-party websites making it much too easy to cheat made it even easier to turn off the game. And now that we're getting close to the end of the era of Verdansk and the Pacific map is on its way, after a year of being stubborn with putting anti-cheat in the game, they're finally doing it. Why it took a year? I think everybody asked the same question. A phrase that gets to every single gamer from Call of Duty is pay to win, and nothing incorporated that more than the OP skins such as Rose. Skins where you could hide in a corner and be nearly invisible in the middle of a gunfight. Skins like these made it intolerable to play against and almost impossible to play inside of buildings against. With an easy update, this could be fixed, yet nothing happened for much too long. And finally, for the bad, Verdansk 1984. In my mind, this was a sad update, with almost no difference to the map. Yes, you added some major locations, yes, you changed a few, but in the end, it felt like the exact same map as Verdansk before the update. With this sad update, I think it made every Call of Duty Warzone player realize that there's not much hope for a brand new map coming in within this Warzone's life cycle. And that ended up being the case. Now, though there were many things that annoyed many players within Verdansk, there were some great things as well. As of recent, the weapon balancing has gotten tremendously better. The DMR was fixed after a certain amount of time, and though there were other overpowered guns and a fair share of underpowered guns, the last season was much more balanced. There were some guns that still didn't live up to the task of others, But even between Modern Warfare and Cold War variants, they were all somewhat balanced and made it much easier to compete with whichever gun you had in your hands. A few things used to be very unique about Warzone when it first came out. No other battle royale had the idea or the concept of the Gulag. Now, though there were some others that had the idea of players coming back in a rebirth type setting, which Fortnite had eventually done, the Gulag was something that was very unique to Call of Duty and became a worldwide and social media sensation, with memes that littered the internet of people flying in on parachutes and saying they won the Gulag.
Really gotta come back from the fucking Gulag.
Another thing that was unique was 150 players at the time. No other battle royale had really tried to get 150 players into a lobby, and if they did, then probably didn't work out because we didn't see too much of it. Luckily, Activision had the ability and the budget to bring in 150 people into a server at one time onto a ginormous map that we call Verdansk. I think a great factor of Verdansk that was overlooked in the beginning was incorporating ground war maps into the map. As soon as you were able to load up into Verdansk, you had an understanding and an ability to play within Warzone. Within certain areas of the maps, you already had an idea of where you were and where gunfights were going to happen. This didn't leave players having to learn an entire new map, but at the same time, there were many areas that were brand new. It made Warzone already feel familiar to a Call of Duty player who had already played Ground War. There were 5 months between the release of Warzone and the release of Modern Warfare, which gave players plenty of time to understand those maps and understand what they were going to look for once they actually loaded into the Warzone map. And the last good thing that I have for you guys from Warzone, I know there's many more, but one of my personal favorites is the drive behind the game. You could lose many games in a row and it would still leave you with that want and that need to play until you win. And even once you won, you weren't fully satisfied and you still wanted to continue to play. This is something that Call of Duty knows best. They know how to bring players back and they know how to keep you. With a great gameplay engine behind Warzone, it made it fun to play. And it made it a great time when you linked up with friends and explored the map and eventually got some wins under your belt. And though Verdansk was great, it is time to move on to new and better things. Pacific to me looks like a breath of fresh air. Much more vibrant, vivid, and a lot more exciting. It's the first time that there's been a whole new gun set. We've been living with the same guns from MW, and a lot of us playing with them since the release of Warzone. They're now adding more ways to fight with vehicles by flying in planes and hopefully not glitching out in them as well. And though I am sad to say goodbye, with over 222 hours played, 888 games played, over 3 million score, and many hours with friends that made memories that I will treasure forever, it is time to move on to something new. It's hard to go play Verdansk at this point in time. All I want to do is go play Rebirth because it seems new. But like with many other addicting games, there is a time to say goodbye. And at least this time, you're only saying goodbye to the map. So, goodbye Verdansk. Hello Pacific. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, do all that. I hope you have a good one. Peace.